All right, here we go with the watch list video for Monday, September 11th, showing you the SPY. It's in a very, very tight range for the last 3 days. Pretty low volume last week. We'll see if volume picks up on Monday. The holiday week's over, so hopefully it will. Let's just go right into the list. AVEO, really strong move on Thursday, kind of a quiet, lower volume pullback on Friday. Sometimes you get the third day play. And you do have a couple catalysts above. If it takes out 411, I look to the left and I see another high of 421. So you could look at 412 and 422 as potential kind of breakout spots. And so we'll watch it and see if it gives a low risk entry, maybe a kind of flag below the whole number 4 or something like that. We don't take entries in our chat room unless they meet our parameters. All right, so keep in mind I can't give you parameters right now on what I'm looking for because anything can happen when the market opens. I don't know if it's going to gap up or down. So always keep that in mind when watching these videos. I'm looking for day trades. Don't hold any of these overnight, okay? GoPro had this big spike on Thursday, gave most of it back, but then you know what? Starting to climb right back up on Friday. So this one's interesting. I'm going to watch that for potential long setup. IDXG, I'll have to zoom in a little bit so you can see this better, but we had this breakout that we were looking for. Called it over $1.50 this day, and it went all the way to $1.73, which percentage-wise was really nice. And what's it doing? It's flagging again. So this one might be headed to 2 one of these days, and I want to be on board if it does. So we're going to watch that one for potential long. Where are we? PULM. Big pop, couple days lower, and starting to kind of curve back up. I'm going to watch out for potential long. On Monday, ACTG, really nice volume for that stock. And breaking out of a range, you can see that it had this, what was that price? 360 right here. 360 resistance here, 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 here. And then broke out on big volume on Friday. So we'll look for a continuation of that. Probably watch that one all week. ZUMZ, really nice breakout on earnings on Friday. And we'll see if we get any kind of red to green setup on that one. KURA, massive move intraday, but gave a lot of it back in the afternoon, so we'll see, but it might give us a low risk setup, so I'm going to watch that one. XXII, nice move on Friday, breaking out of a range and closing all the way at the highs of the day, so this one might be ready to come up and retest this 284 high, so we're going to see if it gives us any kind of a setup. PTN, I generally don't trade stocks under $1, but this one's pretty interesting. It gapped up on news, sold off, gapped up again the next day, sold off, gapped up again the next day, sold off. And then on Friday, just engulfs all 3 of those red days. So I'm looking, this is a pretty good setup for some shorts caught. So I'm looking for a continuation day on Monday. ONS, massive move on Friday. And again, we don't like to chase stuff after a big move. I don't want to join the group of people that find this over the weekend and say, oh, I'm going to buy this on Monday. And right out of the gate, it runs and you buy it. And then generally that fails pretty quickly. So, but if it does give us a proper setup, we could get a nice percentage gain in it. So we're going to watch it, okay? VSTM, gapped up, sold off. The next day kind of found support, and then on Friday ran, but gave back some of its run. I want to watch this. I'll show you a 5-minute chart of this. I was watching this flag in the chat room, right? I was talking about this flag in the chat room, and then when it started to pop right here, I threw out an order, but I didn't want to get a nasty fill, so I threw out a limit order. And I'll slide that over here. You can see what happened. Let me make this a little bigger. So I tried to buy 4,000 shares. You can't see the headers here, but I tried to buy 4,000 shares. I did a limit of 513 as it was starting up. I wanted to get in before it broke this well, I have to see. Hold on. Let me get that out of the way real quick and see what the early high was. Yeah, the early high was 515. So as it started to come up, I tried to get in before it broke that high and just threw out a limit order, 4,000 shares at 513. You can see what happened. Partial fill. That's it. I got 700 shares out of my 4,000. Otherwise, that one would have made my day, right? Because went all the way up through 560. Actually went to 571. So anyway, that was my sort of half miss, more than a half miss on Friday on what would have been a really nice trade. But I had the right idea, and a market order probably would have been much better. But I try to be safe and use my trading matrix on TradeStation and throw out a quick limit order. If I'd have gone a penny or two higher, I would have got all my shares. So anyway, that's how trading is. It can always be frustrating. Still made some decent money in it though. Anyway, I want to watch this one for maybe a red to green on Monday. It's super strong. Where am I? MAT, Mattel, Just a really beaten up stock, and then you've got like 4 red days now after already this beaten up. And I noticed Hasbro, both of those got hit when there was news of Toys R Us possibly filing bankruptcy, and Hasbro, HAS, kind of had that 3 red days down. They had a nice bounce on Friday, and I noticed that Mattel didn't. So maybe that's worth watching for a bounce. It's, one of my least favorite of the list, but I think it's still worth. I like the thesis behind it, and we'll see. And then NVCN had this really nice move from, what was this? Give me a second here. From 72 cents all the way to $1.32, and then the next day continued to $1.37. And now you've got 3 red days in a row on smaller volume and kind of nearing the 8-day. So I'm going to start watching this one for a turn back up. That's a pretty good setup there. And I'll tell you what, enjoy the rest of your weekend. And assuming I have electricity on Monday, I'll be in that chat room trading with you guys. All right, have a good weekend.